Yo, what's going on, guys? Who Dey All Day, back with another video. So today we're doing another 2021 NFL mock draft. And before we get into the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And let's get right into it. So first overall pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. They have hired former Ohio State Buckeyes coach Urban Meyer as their head coach. So that'll be a very interesting situation because they have a new head coach in Urban Meyer who has proven he can win on the college level. So we'll see if that translates to the NFL level. And they have the most cap space. So they're going to pick Trevor Lawrence here, and they're going to be able to have the money to put anyone around him, if that's on the offensive side to directly help him, or just in general put it on the defensive side to help the entire team out. So like I said, they are going to go Trevor Lawrence here. Best player, best quarterback in this draft, and that's the big missing piece. They definitely aren't a complete team by any stretch of the imagination, but it starts with your quarterback. That's what you build a team around. You don't build teams around corners or wide receivers. You got to get that. You got to get that quarterback. You got to get that franchise guy who hopefully brings you and wins you Super Bowls. So they're going to pick Trevor Lawrence here. Like I said, new coach who's proven he can win at the college level and a bunch of cap space. Trevor Lawrence for the Jags. So now, pick 2 at the Jets here. I have them grabbing Zach Wilson. I could see them sticking with Sam Darnold. They did just hire Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. So like I said, he is a defensive coordinator. So their offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, will kind of be in charge of continue to develop Darnold, or developing if they were to draft Fields or if they were to draft Zach Wilson. So they did hire a defensive-minded head coach who doesn't mean he can't coach offense, but he's going to most likely be their defensive play caller, and that's going to kind of be his thing is to worry about the defense, and the OC and the pass game coordinator and the QB coach, and those kind of guys are going to really have to worry about that offense. So like I said, Mike LaFleur, who was an offensive assistant for the 49ers, Robert Saleh brought Mike LaFleur with him. So he's going to be their head coach. He's going to be their offensive coordinator. I have them grabbing Zach Wilson at BYU instead of sticking with Sam Darnold, and that's who I got them drafting. Next, for the Miami Dolphins. Now, there's speculation that Deshaun Watson does want to trade here, and if Deshaun Watson does want to trade here and they actually do the trade, Dolphins are not going to have this first-round pick. They're not going to have the first-round pick this year, probably both their first-round picks, and maybe even a third one next year, because Deshaun Watson's going to go for a lot of trade value. But I do have them drafting Devonta Smith here. They need another level to that offense. I've said it before. I'm not ready to give up on Tua yet. He didn't look too promising, but I don't think it's fair to give someone 9 games to impress you. He doesn't have the best receiving core, doesn't have the best offensive line, doesn't have the best run game, does have a pretty solid defense, but give him Devonta Smith, maybe draft him a running back, give him a little bit more protection, and if he doesn't do very good this year, I think Tua's gone. Falcons, Micah Parsons. They need defensive help really bad. They did just hire Arthur Smith, who is the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans, now head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn is gone. They still need defensive help. So Arthur Smith he was an offensive coordinator, so he will be an offensive-minded head coach, but they need defense really bad. Matt Ryan, you have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. You can use a new running back, but Ito Smith isn't horrible. Todd Gurley's past his prime. But you need Micah Parsons. One of the big problems is edge, which also linebacker. And Micah Parsons says that he truly sees himself as an edge rusher, but his position is linebacker who can come off the edge in that 3-4 scheme. Micah Parsons for the Falcons. Next, for the Cincinnati Bengals, I have us drafting Penei Sewell. Protect Joe Burrow. That's really all it is. Nothing else to it. Protect Joe Burrow. You don't want to see him get injured. He's already gotten injured his rookie year. You want to protect him, put pieces around him. We have a pretty solid receiving core. We could use another guy because we do have a bunch of free agents this year, but T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are a pretty good duo. Defense can use some work at the edge or corner if we do not re-sign William Jackson, but Penei Sewell, protect Joe Burrow is the pick. Next, for the Philadelphia Eagles, I had them drafting Jamar Chase. They actually did fire Doug Peterson, which I don't really agree with that. This situation was weird with what he was doing with Hurts and Wentz, but dude, he won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, they've made the playoffs every year. I don't know. I mean, Wentz got hurt in the playoff game last year, and so what? They didn't make it this year after 1 year. So I don't know, but I have them drafting Jamar Chase. If whoever their quarterback is going to be, if it's Hurts or Wentz, is going to need another receiver to throw to. You did just draft Rieger, but you need another receiver. That's all it is. Ertz is probably gone. You have Goddard, who's not bad, but Ertz is gone. Sean Jackson's old. Alshon Jeffrey's old. You did draft Rager, but I still think you need another receiver. Go get yourself a stud in Jamar Chase. Next for the Detroit Lions, I have them grabbing Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. This guy's a speedster. He's got like true 4.3 speed, and you got to help Matt Stafford out. They don't do that ever. They don't know why. They hired Dan Campbell, who was who's the assistant head coach and tight ends coach, I think, for the Saints. So they hired him. I don't see them making a quarterback change. They could, but you just hired this new head coach, first time ever being a head coach. I don't think you go out when you already have a capable quarterback in Stafford. Just go out and draft a new one. I don't think it's time for that just yet. So go draft Jalen Waddle, help out Matt Stafford, put some pieces around him, help motivate that offense. Next for the Carolina Panthers, I have them drafting Justin Fields. And Justin Fields honestly could even sit in this spot with Teddy Bridgewater, because we all know he's a Teddy Bridgewater. He's just a bridge quarterback. He's the placeholder as of right now until they find that franchise guy. We knew Teddy wasn't going to be the dude there. He was just kind of that placeholder as they were trying to find a new quarterback. Go with Justin Fields, and he can even kind of sit like Tua did with Fitzpatrick. I know Teddy isn't as much as a veteran as Fitzpatrick, but Teddy's been in a couple different systems, couple different head coaches. Teddy knows what he's doing, so he can help mentor Fields for half the season maybe, and then put in Fields or have a training camp battle. But I think Teddy will probably still win just because of the experience. Have him sit, learn behind Teddy, and have him be your franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. Next, Broncos, I have them grabbing Quitty Pay. I don't know what's going on with Von Miller right now. He's like getting investigated. He's got problems with like him and his baby mama. I don't know what's going on with Von Miller. He's kind of fell off since that Super Bowl. He still puts up decent sack numbers. He did miss his entire year. He tore something in his ankle. He tore a ligament or a muscle. He tore something in his ankle. He needed ankle surgery. Didn't play this entire year. He is getting a little bit up there in age. And now we got this whole scandal going on. I mean, that's not going to play a huge factor in their draft. I mean, what's going on right now will probably even blow over come April. But go draft Quitty Pay. You need a cornerback too, but you also need an edge presence. I had them grabbing Quitty Pay out of Michigan. Next for the Dallas Cowboys, really need secondary help. I had them grabbing Patrick Surtain, and like I mentioned, Dan Quinn earlier, who got fired from Atlanta. He is now their defensive coordinator. They fired their defensive coordinator, brought in Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator for Seattle when it was like the Legion of Boom. Granted, they did have very good players, but this guy can coach. He just maybe wasn't the best fit for a head coach. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't coach coordinator spots. Some people are coordinators and they just really aren't ready at that moment, or aren't ready in general just to be a head coach and be that leader spot. That doesn't mean they're not good coordinators. So Dan Quinn, I think, will be a very good defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, because they need defense really bad. We know what that offense can do, and when Dak and those receivers, and you need to help out with defense. Draft Surtain, bringing in Dan Quinn, fix that defense. Next for the New York Giants, I have them grabbing Gregory Rousseau, who's an edge rusher, because they have a gazillion defensive linemen. They have like 3 capable defensive linemen who can all start. And you can't start 3 defensive linemen. You need some kind of edge presence. So I have them grabbing Gregory Rousseau. Leonard Williams is a free agent. They better bring him back. Don't let him walk. Don't let him hit the mark. Just extend him. Give that man money right now. So I do have them grabbing Gregory Rousseau for the outside to help them out, because that defense has stepped up. Bradbury played great this year. They gave Logan Ryan an extension, and now you're going to have some more D-line help. That defense is pretty nasty. Next for the 49ers, I do have them grabbing Trey Lance here. I've been seeing so many reports about Jimmy, and his time might be done in the 49ers, because Jimmy was so reliant on that run game, and Trey Lance is kind of more of a raw prospect just because of the college he went to and the competition he did play. And he didn't even play this year. So he went to North Dakota State, didn't play real defenses, and then didn't play this year because their whole program got canceled because of COVID. So he's kind of a raw prospect, so he could sit a year, or whatever you want to do with that situation. But even as a raw prospect, if he has limited sitting behind Garoppolo and then he comes in, they're going to have a good run game. They're going to have a good offensive line. They have solid receivers or tight end with Kittle, and then receivers with Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. So even though Trey Lance is more of a raw prospect, you give him time, you give him a run game, he's going to do a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Next for the Chargers, I had them grabbing Kyle Pitts. They did hire a new head coach in Brandon Staley. He was the defensive coordinator for the Rams. So I kind of wanted to see them get an offensive head coach. They were going to get the offensive coordinator for the Bills, and I thought that was going to be great because Josh Allen really struggled in the beginning of his career, and I know it was Josh Allen doing his thing, but the offensive coordinator helped develop Allen. Now he can help develop Herbert. Herbert in his first year is already a top 15 quarterback. Imagine when you develop him and you give him a little bit more weapons, like I have them drafting Kyle Pitts. He's going to be nasty. They did hire a defensive coordinator. That doesn't mean anything. Defensive head coach doesn't matter. Their offense is still going to be great. I had them drafting Kyle Pitts. Hunter Henry's a free agent, so let him walk. Bring in a great tight end, Kyle Pitts. Next for the Minnesota Vikings, I had them drafting Rashaan Slater just because he can play virtually any tackle position any offensive lineman position from tackle all the way to center. So you can move him anywhere you want. That's one of their bigger problems is offensive line, so you can put him wherever you want. You know what I mean? He shows up training camp. Wherever you see him best fit, you can plug him in there, and he'll play pretty well for you and help out Dalvin Cook and Kirk Cousins because they run their offense pretty heavily through Dalvin Cook. And so I give Kurt more time, give Dalvin more holes, and draft Rashaan Slater. Next for the Patriots, I had them grabbing Mac Jones out of Alabama. Cam Newton played very, very bad this year. They don't have the best receiving core at all, but they have a good offensive line. Cam had plenty of time. They have a solid run game. Their running backs aren't the best, though. I think they had Damian Harris playing for them a little bit this year. We know James White, Sony Michel. Those guys have always been in that rotation. But that offensive line's pretty good. You might lose Joe Thuney to free agency because it seems like he might be leaving. He's one of the Bengals targets who I would like us to pick up as a guard. But draft Mac Jones. Have him sick. I don't think Mac Jones is an opening day starter. I don't know if he's quite ready for that. With all the, we see Tua. I know Tua's coming off the injury, so that's kind of why. But Tua's kind of struggling because Alabama Open is a lot different from NFL Open. These receivers they're throwing to got 5 yards of separation on any given route. That's not the case in the NFL. Alabama Open and NFL Open's a completely different thing, especially if he's going to go to the Patriots, kind of like Tua going to the Dolphins with kind of no receivers. Same thing with the Patriots. Throwing to Jalen, Waddle, Devonta Smith, and having Tua throw to Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy, and then going to these receiving corps who aren't very good. It's kind of a big step up for these guys. So we'll see what they decide to do with Mac Jones if they want to sit him, but I do have them drafting Mac Jones because Cam Newton's trash. So thank you for watching the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Please, please, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. If you did watch all the way through, let me know down in the comments if you like who your team drafted, if you wanted your team to draft someone else. If you didn't like at all any of my draft picks, let me know down in the comments. I'm always down for a good sports debate. Like I said, please remember to like and subscribe. Go Bengals. Go Buckeyes. Peace.